Hello, it's Ricardo and welcome back to the Planet Crafter. Planet Crafter is a survival game that has you as a terraforming astronaut on a barren planet, trying to make it into a lush paradise and habitat. Today we're going to talk about construction and deconstruction chips, how to make them, and then how to build the first elementary buildings on the planet to try and help you out. The Planet Crafter does take you down a route of things you must do first to survive. That's going to be getting a backpack so you can carry more, and also getting an oxygen tank to increase your oxygen capacity from a paltry 100 units to 145. But there will come a time when that little pod that you've landed in is not going to be enough for you, and you're going to need a microstrip chip for construction and one for deconstruction. For this, you're going to need silicon and you're going to need magnesium. Fortunately for these, they're in abundance around the landing site. Silicon and magnesium, quite easy to find. With your backpack and the extra carrying capacity, you can also get any additional items as well, that once you've got your chip, you haven't got to go out and about looking for too many materials to build these buildings. Now, the scanner device that you've got in your hand can be furnished with these chips. At the moment, at this stage of the game, you've only got limited carrying capacity. I have collected some silicon and also some magnesium. I've gone back to my crafting station and I've got a chip. Having the chip, however, is just not enough to start building. You have to equip that chip to your suit. As you can see, at the moment, with a backpack and with an oxygen tank, there's only 2 slots left. So I'm going to fit that out with a construction and deconstruction chip, which I'll then put those onto the hand scanner I've got in my right hand. With that, I'm now all ready to go and start building. Now, to be completely honest and unbiased, I did struggle with the building. You can build foundations and then you can build living quarters on top of those foundations should the terrain be uneven, shall we say. I really struggled with the lining up of the particular building on the frame, and I'll demonstrate now. So by pressing Q on the PC, I can build a frame, and I can crop that up and down through the surface depending on the level that I'm given. Then I select the living compartment. Okay, there it is. That looks all lined up for me. You'd think, but it isn't. And that's where this game kind of needs a sort of snap to grid to help you out in this aspect. Where in Subnautica you can go up and down throughout the dimensions, not just backwards and forwards. You can have a good idea from an angle if you are lined up. Not at this stage in the game in Planet Crafter, and that's where I think it needs a snap to grid option. Fortunately, I have the deconstruction chip as well fitted, so I can just select deconstruction. It'll turn to a different icon, not the hammer for construction, but deconstruction, and I can reclaim those materials. Or, however, what you can do is you can just build it straight on the floor. So after being thoroughly fed up with building a foundation, I thought I'd do just that and build my habitat or living compartment directly on the floor. Nothing wrong with that. It does look perfectly fine, and it's not about having a pretty base, this. It's more about functionality. So I've got loads of materials. I've got my chips fitted, as you can see, and now it's time to start placing those items to good use. Right, so let's get building. That's a good enough spot. Let's go to the living compartment. There it is. It flashes green, which means, you know, it's in the right location. If it's red, then it's probably shouldn't build there. And there's my building. The shadow comes up, and then you got to decide then where you want to put your doors, your entrance and egress points. Well, they can be put on either side, really, but for that you're going to need a few more materials. So back into the build menu, which is Q. Bang, there's my door. Put it on, it glows green, and then you've got your entrance and egress point. And you've got a little building. Once you get some power in there as well, it'll recharge your oxygen. But you can also put other items in it as well, like a T2 crafting station, which is going to allow you to build additional items. However, straight off the bat, I need some additional iron so I can build some wind generators. not wind generators, power generators that harvest the wind, I should say. Wind turbines. That's the word I'm looking for. Now for that you're going to need some iron, amongst other materials for some of the other stuff as well. So let's go on a quick spree. Now once you've got some iron, you can start building these wind turbines that are going to generate you power. And you can also build a good old craft station T2. This is going to give you additional items like the endoskeleton, which is going to increase your suit's carrying capacity. As you'll remember, our suit's carrying capacity is currently set to 4, I think it is. So with your oxygen tank and with your backpack and with your chips to build and deconstruct, you're full. Add the exoskeleton, however, and that increases. You can also build heaters, wind turbines, drills, lights for the outside, steps if you manage to get your living base component nice and square on top of the foundation. But there's our wind turbine. We're going to put it not too far away, and you can see it starting to generate power as it twists. The more items you have in your base, the more power requirements the base is going to have, and therefore the more wind turbines you're going to need to have. Now, I'm trying to make it look all nice and pretty, but you really don't have to. Base building in this game is particularly and strictly up to you. So now I've got power, everything's started to be lit up. I can go to the crafting station and I can craft that endoskeleton should I want to. And also a drill as well. Now the drills will release pressure into the atmosphere, and that's going to help with the terraforming. And that, in essence, is it. I've got power, and now I've got a building. Couldn't be simpler, could it, really? A little bit of work needs to be done around those foundations, and like I say, the snap to grid. But other than that, quite an effortless and easy process to get your first building on the map. Thanks very much for watching. I've been Ricardo, and I'll see you soon.